Okay, this is my new series of videos devoted to a topic of different skills and pieces of knowledge that junior lawyers might find interesting. And at the same time, I want to actually turn these different skills and knowledge into simulations. So in these new videos, I would like to show you how we can turn interesting different legal topics into simulations. So I'm trying to actually kill two birds with one stone here, because I really want to speak about different topics that are interested to junior lawyers and show some unconventional angles to them that we have actually managed to find while researching these topics to make simulations for our law firm partners. But at the same time, I also use this opportunity to show how simulations are built, what's important to consider when building them, which problems do we run into, how to come up with great ideas for simulations, and many other topics. So this is our first attempt. Please take a look and share what you think. I thought that an interesting topic to investigate is how law firms are set up and managed. And there are two reasons for that. First, the law firm market is going through a period of major transformation, and we'll see how it's going to change in the upcoming years, so interesting to follow. And the second point is actually that junior lawyers who go through interviews, they are often asked about how do they see the law firm structure, who are the decision makers, and what is the role of junior lawyers in a law firm. So I thought that this is a good topic to speak about. But I don't think that we should only focus on the structure. I think there are a couple of interesting topics to investigate here. And I think we should start with investigating how the industry works. So who are the players, how are firms organized, then go to revenue model and really see how firms make money. The third point, which I think is the most interesting, is the talent part, and this speaks about the partnership model and also about the role of junior and middle level lawyers in the future. So how is this role going to change? And the last topic, the last point that I think everyone should take into account is definitely pricing and disruption. So what is the destiny of billable hour, and can we expect something to come in its place? Okay, for this video I collected a bunch of insights which I would like to save on BSavvy in the form of a playbook. So today I think I want to say I'm sorry, because if it may seem evident by a part of this, my goal for this project is to actually share not only some interesting news and interesting information that can be useful for junior lawyers, but also show how we're building simulations on BSavvy. And that's why, while talking about the topics that I find interesting, that I find important, I also want to use the platform to actually do that. So today's video is about simulation number 1, about the structure of UK law firms. And we'll speak about how UK law firms are structured, about the pyramid, and what is actually happening in the pyramid, even if we don't take into account AI. Because AI is important, but it's not only about AI. So yeah, let me create the playbook. It has 4 plays in it, each targeting different points, which I think are important for every junior lawyer to know about. First is like how we map the UK law firm pyramid. Then next one is about LP. The third one is about the segments in the UK legal market. I wonder how correct it is. It is interesting to see. And the last one is about how to read the law firm structure as an investor. Yeah, why, you might ask, we have this investor point here? For one simple reason, because this simulation, my idea was, okay, I can collect a bunch of different information about why law firms work like that, what is the structure, what is important about the structure. But I always, when building a simulation, I'm thinking about what actionable tasks can we actually build. And very often it is difficult. It is difficult to come up with a scenario which is interesting to go through, because anyone can build a bunch of slides and just put the important information there. But even if it's super useful, it's super tough to actually attract people's attention and make sure that they engage for the whole process. That's why a big part of building simulations is actually building the stories as a part of the simulation. And this simulation has an interesting aspect. So in this simulation, you're not actually a lawyer. you are an investment analyst in an investment firm which wants to get into law firm vertical in the UK, and they're trying to understand the market better so that they can make the right investment decision. And that's why whatever information we're given here to the users, to lawyers, to students who go through the simulation, it is all done from the perspective of an investment analyst, which I think is the good thing, because it allows to target all these questions from a different angle. Okay, I think one of the most interesting topics about the UK law firm pyramid, is this one. So you might know that every law firm is traditionally built as a pyramid. You have a lot of junior staff at the very bottom. They're doing the billable work, and there are partners on the very top who are actually making the decision, finding clients, and also getting the profits of the law firm. And the interesting thing is described here is that what is happening is it is the equity squeeze. It means that there are two types of partners in law firms, which is equity partners and non-equity partners. Understandably, equity partners are those who actually own the firm and take part of the profits, and non-equity partners are those who are attracting clients, who are leading the projects, but they are still employees of the company. They are not the owners of it. And an interesting point is described here, and I can there is a source, which is the Law Firm Partner Compensation Structure Analysis by BCG and Tony Search. This is not actually the consultant law firm BCG. This is a US firm helping with law firm recruitment. But I think this insight is worth your attention because it's interesting. It says that the firms try to de-equitize partners deliberately, meaning that in the past there used to be more equity partners, and non-equity partners were not a very frequent thing. Now it is changing, and I have the numbers here. You can take a look. Of non-equity partners who joined in 2010, 65 eventually reached equity, but in 2024 that figure had fallen to 32%. Non-equity partnership is increasingly a permanent destination, not a stepping stone. So the numbers are a bit odd because I think that those who were promoted to partners in 2024 just didn't yet have time to actually become equity partners. But nevertheless, I think this is a global trend happening in the industry. And it is important to understand that for many lawyers, the position of a non-equity partner might be the pinnacle of their career, not a step towards equity partnership. Okay, we discussed different elements, but I think we should now move to the most interesting part, which is actually generating the simulation based on this information. And we'll return to the playbook in a moment, but I should launch the actual development process. So to do that, I open my sidebar, which is the development sidebar, and I look through some configurations. I actually don't have some predefined settings for this type of simulation, so like the business of law, not yet, but I can choose the jurisdiction, which is UK. I have the playbook, but I know that I don't have characters yet. So let's use some predefined characters. So we'll have Sarah, who will be the manager, who will be like the boss of the user who is going through a simulation. Like investment manager. And we will also have a lawyer. Who can this be? A lawyer, some young guy. Let's take Omar. So Omar is actually an associate in a law firm. He will be actually consulting the user on the way it works. So we actually have two characters. Sarah, who is the manager, she's like the person who we are helping. She will be grilling us on all of the important questions. and Umar will be actually helping us. He has legal experience, he works in law firm, he knows it upside down, so that will be useful. Okay, now that we have the characters, I have a prompt, which is pretty detailed prompt on the way it's gonna work. I like to design the... Okay, it wants us to choose something. Yeah, this is something I need to fix. Okay, what is, yeah, let's make it client communication skills. Yeah. So let me just guide you through this prompt, because this is interesting. I don't like to let the AI do the actual story planning. I love to give the arc so that the AI knows what to focus. And here I actually said, like, let's have like 5 parts to the simulation. We'll start with an opening chart with Sarah, where Sarah will just explain where we are, who we are. This is the first simulation. We need to explain that this is like that you are a part of an investment team in an investment firm. So all this needs to be explained to the student before they actually start the tasks. And she also gives the first assignment. And I asked to build the first 2 assignments around play 1, the law firm pyramid, and play 2, which is the LLP ownership model. So we actually designed 2 tasks, 2 case studies, where the student has to go through them and figure out important things. But every case study is not about answering simple questions like what is a pyramid, what is leverage. Every play, if you take a closer look, has this last part, which is actionable advice on how to approach this particular topic in real life. So we're trying to help our users not only learn something new, but also to learn to use it in practice, to utilize this new knowledge, to turn this knowledge into a skill. And for example, in the first play, which is the pyramid play, they will use this new knowledge about the pyramid, the leverage, the equity squeeze as a tool to analyze how efficiently a law firm is managed. And that's why the case study will be built around how well they can analyze how well the law firm is managed. And the second one is actually the understanding the UK LLP ownership model. And this is interesting because we will use it to explain to Sarah why LLP structure is the first structural barrier to external investment. So again, this will be not about just learning what is A and what is B, but how to use this knowledge to actually make decisions. And here this is an investment decision. Okay, let's take a look at what we have generated. So first, using our data, some information has been generated. The context. The context is important because it will be used by all other simulations in this course to actually build a coherent story throughout all the simulations we have. Because if we don't have this context, they will be disconnected. They will have different characters, different scenarios, different things happening. It's important to have. And the same goes for synapses. It's so that it will also be used AI to make sure it knows what is happening. Okay, so, and as I've asked, it has pre-created 5 different blocks. It's now my job to actually look through them and make sure that these are the blocks I want. So we start with the chart, which is Sarah introducing the Meridian mandate and tasked the analyst with building a foundational briefing on UK law firms before the IC pre-meeting. Yes, this is exactly what I want. There should be also information on the plays connected to this, but I don't see that. I think we'll have to add this feature. I think we have already done it, but for some reason it's not part of a simulation yet, but we'll get there. Charts are pretty easy. Let's start generating the chart, and in the meantime let's review what else do we have. So we have 2 case studies, number 1 and number 2. Yes, the analyst meets an old university friend, Jamie. So it's not Jamie, it's actually Omar. So let's fix this. Who's a senior associate at Hartley? Yes, it's okay. Probes how the firm manufactures profit without revealing the immediate mandate. Yes, there we go. This will be number 2. Yes. Case number 3. The conversation continues. Not Jamie, but Omar mentions the firm has been approached about a possible investment. The analyst probes the ownership structure without revealing why. Also something I expected. Then we have a chart which actually finalizes the talk with Omar and opens the way for the final conversation, which is the conversation with Sarah, who talks about important topics that have been discussed before with Omar. Okay, chart number 1 is done. Let's take a look at what we have here. Okay, so Sarah, let's go into the update mode right away. It's pretty long. Not sure we need this to be that long. Okay. So we have the first message from Sarah, who welcomes us to the project. Yes, she now gives us the task. I don't really... Okay, it generated the mind map. I don't like the mind map. I don't need it here. It also connected to a couple of plays from the playbook so that the learner can read through them before they actually start the simulation. This is fine. Okay, so the pyramid tells me how efficiently they manufacture profit. Yes, so it introduced us some topics. And let's see how this actually finishes so that we see the connection between the simulations, between the different tasks in the simulation. So I'll have it ready. Just to confirm, you want me to focus on whether they are investable, not on their profitability in isolation? Yes, might be wildly profitable, but if the LP structure locks us out and the partners have no incentive to sell, doesn't matter, investability is the filter. Build the briefing around that. Good. So the chart actually introduces the story and prepares us for the first case study. Let's see what the first case study will be about. Okay, it is also ready. Let's take a look. Okay, it introduced some background information. I might delete it in the future, but that's fine. Yeah, so Omar actually explains what he is doing. So he has also attached the table about his company. So explains that there are like 8 equity partners, 24 non-equity partners, and 96 associates. Okay, this is good to know. So it also, we can read about the some theoretical information before we actually dive into the questions, but let's see how the questions go. Okay, a lot of okay. So yeah, so it decided to go with Sarah as the actual interrogator. So it decided to make Sarah mentor. I'm not sure this is good, but let's see what she wants us to do. So Jamie just rattled off the firm's headcount almost as an insight. We've got 8 equity partners. Yeah. Before you can brief Sarah tomorrow, you need to turn the throwaway fact into a hard number she can use. Your task: calculate the leverage ratio for Hartley Cross LP, treating all non-equity fee earners as the numerator. Okay, this is actually a good task because I don't think it's very complicated, but it actually gives us a chance to dwell upon it, to think over it. Let's just go into the update mode and actually see. So we have like 4 questions. So the first one is about the leverage calculation. Hints instruction. Okay. Okay, it chose the right type, which is a calculation. Correct numeric answer. I think it should be changed to an actual number. Yeah, it should be something like this. But we'll be able to fix this. This is still a little bit confusing for the AI to decipher between different types of questions. Then question number 3. Jamie puts down their flat white and leans in. Honestly, last year 3 of our best senior associates were passed over for equity partnership. All 3 had hit billing targets. You keep your face neutral, but your mind is moving fast. You're looking at a firm with 24 non-equity partners and only 8 equity partners, their ratio. Based on what Jamie has described, advise Sarah on what the 3-to-1 non-equity to equity ratio signals, why passing over high performance in associates is a risk, and what considerations or red flags Meridian should investigate further. So AI specifically made this a complicated and question which has a lot of aspects, so that we actually have the conversation here with Sarah. I'm not sure at the end it will be Sarah. I think I will change the question to make it more about Omar. So this will be the conversation with Omar, what he thinks. We want this to make this a friendly discussion before we actually go to Sarah in the final block, in the conversation block, to discuss all these details. But this is a good start. We have generated the first draft. It gave us great ideas. It also gave us great templates, because we have the correct sample answer. We can look through some prompts to actually assess the answers, to describe what is correct and what is partially correct. So it will be significantly easier to work with now. So this is actually question number 3. Then we have a quiz. Okay, just to make it interesting. And then we have the final question. Draft the pre-IC response to Sarah, take a position name. Okay, I don't like this approach. I don't think we should make it the pre-IC response to Sarah. I don't think we should draft anything at this point, but yeah, I think this is a good first draft for this case study. We can move on. We have to, let's generate all other tasks in this simulation. Okay, let me show you what we have finally generated. Let's open the whole simulation. It has 7 parts to it, but we'll start from the very beginning. So we have generated the playbook at the very beginning. Then we had this introductory chat with Sarah that we can go through. Then we have our first case study that we have discussed pretty thoroughly. Then we actually have the second case study, which is also good. It discusses the LP structure and what is the downsides and upsides of the structure. And then we have the final talk with Sarah, where she actually preps us for the final meeting. And finally, we have the actual simulation, voice simulation. We actually have to talk to Sarah and discuss all the different interesting points that are important for her in this project. And then we slide into the forum, where we can actually share some of our questions, ideas, or reflections. So this is how I see the first draft of this industry map simulation. I think it's already pretty packed. I like how we managed to do that. It can benefit from improvement on 3 levels. This is the design level, the story level. We can bring more storytelling and better storytelling, and the complexity level. We can increase the complexity of the simulation. But it's always good to have the first draft, and here the first draft has been provided with AI, so it made this significantly easier. So it's great, I think, for you to see how you can both how you can collect different pieces of information and actually turn them into a real simulation.